I always believed marriage was built on trust, not blind trust, but the kind that comes from knowing someone has your back even when things aren't perfect. For a long time, I thought that's what my wife and I had. Looking back now, I guess I was wrong. For years, I poured my energy into building a startup. Late nights, endless pitches, sleepless weekends, I gave everything I had to make it work. Meanwhile, my wife, Emily, stayed home with our 2 kids. We weren't rich, but we managed. I always believed things would get better and that all my hard work would pay off. But somewhere along the way, Emily stopped believing in me. It started with small things, little jabs during dinner. "You should have just stuck with your old job, at least we had some stability." Or when I'd spend a weekend coding, "The kids barely see you anymore. Guess they'll just get used to a father who's never around." I knew she was frustrated. I was too. But I kept going, convinced success was right around the corner. Then one day, it happened, the big break. I sold my startup for $2 billion. $2 billion. I couldn't believe it. I sat in my car after the final call, staring at my reflection in the rearview mirror, trying to process what just happened. My mind raced: the debt we could clear, the vacations we could finally take, the freedom we'd have. But when I got home that night, something felt off. Emily barely acknowledged me. She was texting someone, smiling like a teenager. I asked her about it, but she brushed me off. I didn't push. Later that week, I overheard a phone call. Emily was in the laundry room, whispering, "I can't wait, yeah, just a few more days, he has no clue." I should have confronted her then, but I didn't. I wanted to believe it wasn't what it sounded like. A couple of days later, she told me she was going on a girls' trip for the weekend. Said she needed some time to relax. "I'll stay home with the kids," I said. She barely looked up. "Yeah. That's what poor husbands do." That hit me hard. I felt like a fool, like no matter what I did, it wasn't enough. I tried to brush it off, thinking she was just in a bad mood. Then I found the ashes. I'd been packing for a surprise trip, a getaway to Italy for the whole family. I'd left my passport on my nightstand, but when I went to grab it, it was gone. After searching the house, I found it, or what was left of it, in the fireplace. Burnt, barely recognizable. I confronted her that night. "Why did you do this?" My voice shook, and not from anger, from disbelief. She didn't even flinch. "You're staying home," she said flatly. "Take care of the kids. I'm going to relax." She paused, then smirked. "With someone who can actually afford it." I just stood there, stunned. You're serious?" I stammered. She laughed. "Yeah, I am. You've been wasting your time chasing some stupid dream while I've been stuck here. Well, I'm done." I didn't tell her about the $2 billion. Not then. I couldn't. Something in me snapped, not in anger, but in clarity. I realized she didn't care anymore. Maybe she never really did. That night, after she fell asleep, I packed my things, my clothes, my laptop, some essentials, and I left. I booked a suite at a nearby hotel, just to clear my head. By morning, I'd made a plan. I contacted a lawyer and began filing for divorce. I arranged for my kids to stay with my sister for a few days. She adored them, and I knew they'd be safe. Then I went home. Emily was still asleep when I walked in. I sat quietly in the kitchen, sipping coffee, waiting for her to wake up. When she finally stumbled downstairs, her face froze the moment she saw me. "You're still here?" she asked. "No," I said calmly. "I just came back to finish a few things." I handed her an envelope, the divorce papers. Her face twisted. "What is this?" "I'm done," I said simply. "I know about your trip. And I know about him." She scoffed. "You can't be serious." I reached into my bag and pulled out a bank statement, one that showed just how much I now had. Her face went pale. You had this all alone? She whispered. I didn't tell you because I wanted to surprise you. I thought this money would make things better. But it turns out the problem wasn't money at all. You're leaving me? She asked, her voice breaking. I think you left me a long time ago. I walked out the door. I won't pretend it was easy after that. Divorce isn't just a signature, it's memories, promises, and years of what could have been. My kids struggled to understand why their mom wasn't around as much. And honestly, so did I. But I realized something important: no amount of money can fix a broken relationship. The real wealth? The people who stand by you when you have nothing to offer except hope and hard work. Now, when I think back to that night, I don't feel anger. Just relief. Relief that I walked away before I lost myself completely. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: sometimes the biggest win isn't what you gain, it's what you leave behind.